It's a pimp named Slaughter here, letting you know that you are watching Comic Book Addicts with S. Vaughn 82, my brother.
What's up, y'all? That is a pimp named Slaughter, aka Marcus Circumstances, who is very close to hitting 1K subs. I wanted to mention that if any of you watching are not subscribed to Circumstances, please go over to his channel. We need to get him to a thousand subscribers real soon. He's a great friend of mine, an awesome member of this community, and I would love to see him hit 1K. He's going to hit it one way or another really soon. But my brother Marcus, y'all, opening up the show as a pimp named Slaughter, coming off, let's see, what is it? Monday, June 24th, the start to a brand new week, coming off a very, very hot weekend here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. A very nasty 92, 93 degrees. And I know you guys are probably laughing at me when I say that because you're thinking 92 degrees isn't that hot. But here in the South, it's a different kind of hot. When I say that it's hot, I mean absolutely no breeze. The pollen count is sky high to the point that your eyes burn. It's just extremely humid. It's really sticky and very uncomfortable to be outside. So other than that, I mean, it looks really nice. It's just unbearable to go outside right now. But yeah, it's just been a really hot week. I hope that everybody is doing a little better where you're at. Hopefully you're not having a heat stroke where you're at and you're having a good week so far. But Monday also means the Monday night lineup. We got a lot of good live streams going on tonight. Between the Lines actually will be canceled. It has them going at 8:35, but they're actually going to be canceled. He ended up having to cancel last minute. But Izzy kicked it off with the comic book weekly pull list at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. He does every week. He does a weekly giveaway and he runs down the hot 10 list. And it's always a good time if you've never checked that out. Every week, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, Izzyverse NYC. Then after that, of course, is Comic Book Addicts. Fun hangout, comic book hangout. We do different interviews. I got a lot of really cool guests coming up, so I hope that you guys will come back next week. Council of Comics, 8 p.m. every week. Always a fun hangout. Really fun crew over there. C. Bizzle, Cliff, just a really fun group over there, and always a good time. After that, normally it would be Between the Lines, but like I said, they are canceled this evening. So no Between the Lines, unfortunately. At 9 p.m., though, we got 22 Comics bringing us his top 10 alternatives. That's one of my favorite comic book related live streams. It's always fun to see what his different picks are going to be week to week. It's just always fun. If you've never checked it out, I highly recommend you checking it out. And then Cupo Comics rounding out the night at 10 p.m. Eastern time with his Monday Night Raw books. And that is an awesome, fun hangout as well. If you've never hung out with Will on his live stream before, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Also wanted to mention that the CBC Award nominations are open. So if you have not had a chance to nominate your favorite channel, there's still plenty of time. But when you get ready, head on over to cbcawards.org and vote for your favorite channels. It's really simple and easy to do. And it's going to be a great year. I cannot wait to see all the good channels that are nominated and see the CBC Awards later in the year. It's just always a lot of fun and something that I've grown to look forward to each year. Tomorrow on J-Man's channel, I wanted to mention me and him have been running through the whole volume 1 run of Dazzler. So if you are a Dazzler fan or you're interested in learning the history of Dazzler and Marvel Comics, we've pretty much been covering the whole run. Tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, over on J-Man's channel on YouTube, we will be covering issues 25 through 28. So come hang out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think Cliff may be there hanging out with us as well. So it's going to be a good time. It's always fun when we do those. I enjoy doing them. So if you guys are not busy tomorrow evening, come hang out with us. Next week on Comic Book Addicts, I wanted to talk about this really quick. We got an awesome guest we got coming up to talk about the series Crashdown. We got Fire Guy Ryan Sargent will be coming on to talk, and got my homie Durs. He will be in the house hanging out with me and helping me interview Ryan Sargent and talk to him about Crashdown. It was the end of the first arc, but I have a good feeling that there's more to come with this series, and we're going to find out. So tune in next Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time for a brand new Comic Book Addicts featuring my homie Durs and Ryan Sargent, Fire Guy Ryan. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got a couple people in the chat. We'll make sure we shout those people out. We got Las Crucius first, as usual. He says, hooray. What's up, Las Crucius? I hope you're doing all right this week, man. He also says, woohoo, and hello from New Mexico. Hello from Chattanooga, Tennessee, Las Crucius. Like I said, I hope you're doing well this week. I hope your week has started off right. We got my comic pops, Lorenzo Ross, in the house. He says, hey, Scotty. Hey, Pops. Happy late Father's Day. I hope you're doing well. I hope the weather is better where you are than it is here, because it is just nasty here. Just nasty heat. We got Brian LCS. Like I mentioned before with the CBC Awards, Brian LCS puts in a lot of hard work in making the CBC Awards good every year. And it's a lot of fun. And I enjoy it every single year. I think it's the year four now. But anyways, Brian LCS, what's up, man? Glad to see you in here. We got Gary Woods. He says, hello, everyone. Hello, Gary. Hope you're doing good this evening. Brian says, we be pimping. Absolutely. Got a pimp named Slaughter kicking off the live stream. I haven't used that clip in a little while, so it was due. We got Tony, a close friend of mine. He says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Scott. Tony is, and I'm not going to mention too much because there's no need to really get into details, but Tony's kind of going through some stuff right now. And Tony, I wish you the best. You've been in my thoughts and prayers, and hit me up if you need me, man. But I hope that everything is working out for the best for you, man. We got Brian saying what's up to Tony. We got Kenneth Bird saying hi to everyone in the chat tonight. What's up, Kenneth? Hope you're doing all right, brother. Las Cruces says it's currently 102 here in Las Cruces. Wow, dude, that's crazy. The thing about the heat here in Chattanooga is it's just a really stagnant heat, and the humidity is high, the pollen's high, so it's just really irritating. It's not like, where it can be 98 degrees on the beach, but you have a constant breeze. There is no breeze here in sight, so it's just a really, really miserable heat. Comiverse saying hey to Brian. We got Brian saying currently 94 in South Carolina. Yeah, it's probably around the same. It's probably around the same here, I think. It's let's see. Just trying to see what the current temperature is. 92. So, but it's the humidity. It's killing me. We got Marcus, my brother, who kicked off the show. He says, what up, homies? What's up, Marcus? Hope you're doing well, man. We got Tony saying that is awesome. Ryan is a cool guy. Yeah, Ryan is a really cool guy. And I enjoyed Crashdown. I enjoyed that series a lot. And I'm glad to see that, or hopefully they'll be doing a second arc of it. I don't know for sure, honestly. They kind of left it at a cliffhanger, though. So it kind of leads me to believe there's going to be more. Kind of just a guess, though. Maybe it's wishful thinking on my part, but we'll see though next Monday. Jonathan Hall, man, what's up, dude? He says, I see you, Scott. Got Fire Guy Ryan on 100. I'll be here for that one. Yes, awesome. Jonathan is somebody in the comic book community here, in the local Chattanooga comic book community. He's somebody I run into. I met him when I was bin diving at McKay's one time, and I keep bumping into this guy, but he's super cool and really cool dude. I enjoy running into when I'm out digging through the bins and stuff. Just a really cool guy. Jonathan Hall. What's up, dude? Hit me up. Let me know if you found anything good lately. He was at the Benjamin Percy signing with me the other day, which I'll mention really quickly. It was a lot of fun. Got to meet Benjamin Percy. I stood in line at Infinity Flux, a local comic shop here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Got a couple of cool books signed and just had a lot of fun. And I learned something new. I actually learned a lesson. So I'm a little bit of an amateur when it comes to signings and things like that. I'll admit to you guys. But apparently certain writers and artists are hesitant to sign with paint markers. And I don't know, it caught me off guard because I never really thought about it before. And that was the first time I had ran into anything like that. He wasn't rude or anything. He was super, super nice guy. But he was just sort of hesitant to sign it with this red marker that I had. But the Helvering cover had the black background, so I wanted it done with the red paint marker. And I don't know, come to find out, just certain markers leak. Marvel has shitty paper quality, just certain reasons, understandable reasons for not wanting to. So, but it's just something I never ran into. Bobby De La Ghetto saying it's 104 where he's at. That is freaking ridiculous, man. DJ Y stopping in for some hellos. Man, humidity sucks right now. It absolutely does. But I hope you're doing well, DJ Wise. Thank you for stopping by. We got Steve White saying, good evening, folks. Good evening, Steve White, man. Thank you for stopping by. Chris and Ralph Productions. Chris and Ralph. What's up, Chris? Thank you for stopping by. We got my homie, Roscoe, Geek Out with Roscoe, saying, hey, everyone, I hope you are all doing well. And I hope that you're doing well as well, Roscoe. I hope you're doing great this evening, man. Sorry that you had to cancel this evening, but I look forward to seeing you next week at 8:35 p.m. Eastern time. We got Brian LCS shouting out some people. We got Steve saying, hey, Brian. We got DJ Y saying 117 in Arizona where I live. That's absurd, sir. That is ridiculous. That's like cooking bacon on the street hot. That is ridiculous, dude. I feel really bad. I'm kind of embarrassed to complain about 92 here after hearing 117. Jesus, that is crazy, man. That's really crazy. But I hope you guys are doing well this week. I hope you're not having a heat stroke out there. We got an awesome guest that I'm going to bring out. But first, we have a segment that I like to call YouTube polls, where I throw up a couple of different random polls on YouTube, and I'll let you guys answer the questions and determine the outcomes. So the first poll I did this week has to do with Deadpool Wolverine, the new Deadpool movie. Will Taylor Swift appear in the new Deadpool movie? I asked you guys. The newest rumors are saying no, but what do you think? Who do you think she will show up as, or do you think it's all a bunch of baloney? And 32% of you picked Dazzler, that she may show up as Dazzler, while 28% of you said Lady Deadpool. And I kind of feel like I could see that a lot easier because I feel like I saw a little tease where you saw like some legs of a possible Lady Deadpool. But 40% of you said no appearance at all, which I could totally believe that as well. That's actually what I believe to be the most likely to happen outcome. No appearance at all, probably. But me being a huge Dazzler fan, I really hope to see her in the film as Dazzler. That would be amazing. The next poll had to do with cover of the week. I picked my 4 favorite covers of the week, and then I asked you guys what you thought of the covers, which was your favorite. We had the Venomverse Reborn issue 1 Derek Chew cover, Ultimate Spider-Man issue 3 third print Chichetto, Justice Ducks issue 4 by Trish Forstner, and Sensational She-Hulk issue 9, the Adam Hughes cover. And 38% of you, we had 28 votes, and 38% of you picked the Ultimate Spider-Man third print for issue 3, the Chichetto. So really cool cover. They actually did a cover for the 6th print of issue 1 with Scarlet Spider a couple of weeks ago. And that was really awesome. I like that one a little bit better. But that one didn't win that week for cover of the week. So go figure. But anyways, let's bring out the guest. I've been blabbing too much. We got an awesome guest tonight. I can't wait to get him out here. My guest this evening is a writer. He's a musician, and he is also a fellow comic nerd. Sergio is a really cool dude, and he doesn't do many live streams. So I'm very grateful to have the opportunity and that he agreed to come hang out with us this evening. So y'all help me welcome my buddy Sergio Giovanni to the live stream. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's up? What's up, Scott? Thank you so much for having me. What's up?
Yes.
Can you hear me all right?
Sir. Yes, I can hear you perfect, man. And I'm so glad that you're here hanging out with us this evening. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing better now that I'm hanging out with you. Shout out to the chat. Thank you for watching and hanging out. And thank you, Scott. You're popping my live cherry right now. First time.
Hell yeah, man.
It's my first appearance on Comic Book Addicts.
Oh, wow, dude. Your very first appearance on a live stream. I didn't know that. That's awesome, dude. Thank you so much for making it on Comic Book Addicts. Hell yeah.
Thank you for inviting me, man. For real, for real.
Of course, man. Of course. I've been following you on Instagram for a long time. You're a really cool guy. I enjoy following you. I enjoy following your story. seeing you pick up some comic books, playing some music, doing some really cool things. So I just wanted to have you on and hang out and introduce you maybe to a crowd that is not familiar with you. Maybe they are familiar with you. I don't know. But if they're not, maybe put you on to some new people tonight because you guys, Sergio is a really cool dude, and he is a fellow member of the comic book community. He's a fellow comic nerd. So definitely going to talk some comics tonight. No Taylor Swift in Deadpool, Steve White says. That's his prediction. No Taylor Swift at all in the Deadpool movie. What do you think, Sergio?
I think we're definitely going to see a Swiftie appearance. I'm not sure if she'll be Lady Deadpool or Dazzler, but I do think at least a cameo. At this point, I think they could have even done it after they shot most of the movie, just because of all the noise that it made. They could have been like, all right, now we have to have her in here. And apparently they're chill, right? Ryan and Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's going to be in there, maybe even post-credit scene. I don't know. I think she's definitely going to make it in there, though.
There's been so many teasers, man. Like you were saying, that the fact that they're friends, they've made appearances together. Ryan's daughter has like a small little appearance on one of Taylor Swift's albums, apparently. There's just been so much, man. Marvel's doing a Dazzler series later in the year due to the hype from all this. There's just been so much. I would like to see it, but it's just wishful thinking on my part. So I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. We'll see. We'll see really soon because the movie comes out at the end of what is it? The end of July.
I think it's next month. Yeah, I'm really excited to see it.
So I'm really excited to see that one too. What's up, Chris, the comic vet? Saying what up, fam? What up, Chris?
Hey, what up, comic vet? What up, TM Nerdy? Shout out to the chat. You guys are amazing.
Oh, TM Nerdy, what's up, man? Welcome, Travis.
Hey.
So, Sergio, tell us a little bit about yourself for some of these guys that aren't familiar with you. Where are you from? Who are you? What are you into?
Yeah, of course. Thank you again.
Absolutely, man.
I'm Sergio Giovanni. I'm from New York, born and raised. Shout out to all my folk on the east side.
Nice.
Before I talk a little bit more about myself, all this talk about the heat that's going on, apparently it's just the Human Torch outside everywhere, and just no matter what state you're in. I couldn't believe hearing the 117. That's awful, dude. I'm so sorry.
That's
you have
horrible,
just all
man.
the water and the biggest AC ever.
Stay hydrated.
We did just go through a heat wave over here in New York as well. The other day I checked my phone and it was 94, feels like 100, and that was wild. Thankfully it's cooler now, but summer just started, so we'll see where that goes. And excuse the digression. It was just hard not to comment on that because it's just hot as balls out here.
It is, man. It is a heat wave everywhere, I guess. So what's up, Rich? Welcome, man. Just talking about sweating our asses off out here. Everybody's hot.
Sweaty days out here. I am a musician. I play a handful of instruments. Also a writer. I've been published online on a few different platforms. I have a book of shorts that me and some friends from a writing group put out last year. And I also have a column on CBSI, comicbookinvest.com. I'm not sure if any of you out there are familiar. Maybe you are. But I am.
That's very cool.
Thank you. Yeah, of course, man. Appreciate you. I'm sorry. I'm a bit nervous. Again, this is my first time doing this. But yeah, man, I have a monthly column.
I get nervous every time, man. I get nervous every single time. I've done this 75 times and I still get nervous. So don't worry about it. You're good.
Congrats on that too, man. I appreciate being here for 75, man. That's amazing.
Yeah,
but I have a monthly column. It's called Gutters with Geo. Probably afterwards, I'll comment down below. I'll put a link to the column. Yeah, if you guys want to check out some of my ideas on or thoughts rather on comic books and pop culture and things like that. A lot of spec stuff, but also not spec stuff.
I love spec stuff.
Yeah, no, spec stuff is fun. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fun. But some of my pieces are more like interest pieces. They're not always monetary based or speculation based. But yeah, Gutters with Geo on CBSI. And yeah, man, I've been collecting for decades now, since I was a child. And I got really back into it when I was a teenager and never looked back, man. And I'm a huge fan of the medium. I love comic books. most, but I also do enjoy video games, anime, film, music, and just all that stuff, man. I'm a real big fan of a lot, man. So I think that's a good introduction on myself. And
Nice.
can I just have you gotten your flowers yet? Has anyone given you your flowers? If not, let me be the first. Can we shout out Comic Book Addicts? Can we shout out Scotty? You're doing
Sure,
your
man.
thing, man.
Sure.
Thank you again for doing this, and not just for having me on, man, but for all the amazing stuff you're doing, all the
Thanks, man.
amazing guests. You got Ryan from Crashdown coming next week. Tune in,
Yeah,
come back next week for that. That's gonna be fire.
it'll be
Is that a
fun.
David Mack cover that I saw on that promo there?
Yeah, David Mack
Oh,
did issue 1 and issue 4, I believe, for that
that's
series.
awesome, man. I love
Yeah,
David Mack. I
crazy.
love his covers, and I love Ben Templesmith, who I think is doing interiors on that story.
Yep.
Yeah,
He
Ben
did
Templesmith
interiors.
is a cool guy, man. One of my favorite artists, man. So yeah, that's amazing, man. CBC Awards are coming up soon. Please vote for your man right here. Let's get him up. Let's see if we can give him an award because
Thank
he
you, man.
deserves his
Thank you.
flowers, man.
I appreciate that, dude. That's really nice of you, man. That's really nice of you. I do appreciate that. I'll
I
take
mean
it.
it, man.
I'll
I'm being
take it.
sincere.
I do try to put in some work and make this a half-ass live stream. So I do try to put in some effort and bring on some cool people, a good variety of people. I try not to just get the same type of people. I try to get all different kinds of people on to hang out and talk about not necessarily even comics sometimes. So thanks, man. Appreciate you recognizing it. You're awesome. That's really cool.
Thank you, man. Speaking the truth out here. No cap.
Awesome. I appreciate you, dude. So you said you're a musician, and I see you playing various instruments on your Instagram, which if you guys are not following Sergio, you can follow him at it's SIRGEE underscore O. Is it just a O or OH?
OH.
I'll type it in the comments. That'd be easier. So
SIRGEE underscore OH. And thank you, man, for plugging that in.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, you guys can follow him on Instagram, and you can see the same all the stuff that I'm talking about, right? Is it just a O at the end, you said?
O and the H.
OH. OH. Okay. OH. Yeah, Sergio. Yeah, there you go. But you guys can follow him. You can see what I'm talking about. He plays all different kind of instruments. What different instruments do you play exactly?
So first and foremost, the bass guitar is my primary instrument.
That's really cool.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's the one I'm most passionate about. I also play regular guitar. I play a little keyboard. I have a synthesizer that I love, and a few hand instruments and stuff like that.
So you're multi-talented. You play all different instruments, not just the bass.
Well, I grew up loving music. It's a really big part of my life, and for me, it was hard to just dabble in one instrument. So even if it's something I've never played, if I see an instrument and I can, if somebody lets me, mess around with it, I'll probably do that and have fun with it. It's like listening to music too. I don't have just one genre of music I listen to. There's just so much good stuff out there. So why only listen to one thing?
To play?
Excuse me?
What got you started wanting to play?
I think when I was like in middle school, I started listening to a lot of alternative, music, punk and metal and stuff like that. And I had a lot of friends who were playing instruments or wanting to pick them up. And I loved music always growing up. So I was like, oh, I want to play something too. And it's funny. The reason I started with bass is because at the time when I was young, just everyone and their mother played guitar. Like everyone had a guitar. And I remember hearing about like, oh, we need a bassist or there's not enough bassists. And I was like, you know what? Everybody's playing guitar. A lot of drummers out there. Let me pick up a bass. Just trying to be cool, if you will, and different. And then I ended up falling in love with it. It's the heart of the music, the rhythm, right? And so yeah, I started playing after that, and I still play to this day.
That's really cool. And I played bass when I was younger. I don't play. I haven't played in years, man. But I used to play bass when I was a teenager. I played all through high school, different bands and stuff, and it was fun. I always looked at the bass player. Like my eyes, whenever I'm watching a band, are always on the bass player because they're always the smoothest guy in the band to me. The bass player is always the smoothest one, just up there slapping the bass, having a good time. Sometimes that like the roots bass player will have like a cigar hanging out of his mouth while he's slapping. And it's just fun, man. It's fun to watch the bass player, and that's where my eyes have always been when I watch a band. But really cool, I enjoy watching the bass player. I never stuck with it, man. I kind of went a different direction. I wish I would have stuck with it. It was a lot of fun when I did play. And like I said, I love watching bass players. I admire bass players. I like watching Thundercat. I think he's amazing to watch. Thundercat is so cool. There's a lot of bass players I enjoy watching, though. So I could definitely see why you wanted to pick up a bass.
That's really dope, man. I really appreciate you acknowledging bassists like that. And I do think that we're the smoothest in the bunch. But
who are some of your favorite bass players?
So I think Geddy Lee probably.
Nice.
Is that right? Bassist from Rush.
I don't know Rush. I never got into Rush.
Yeah, no. Definitely a great prog rock band. I think they have some amazing work, and definitely the bassist and the lead singer, and he also plays keyboard as well. So it's something similar to what I ended up doing when I played in music. I was in a band as well, and we got to do some shows around the city, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, man, I think it's really cool that you played bass yourself, man. And
for a little while, yeah. For some years.
We were talking backstage about hanging out. If you ever come to New York, if I ever come down there, and we should definitely jam, man. I can pick up a guitar or a keyboard or something,
cool.
And you can hop back on the bass, man. That would be a lot of fun.
I can still jam. I can do like dub style. I can do like a freestyle bass, like simple bass lines. I can do enough to jam. Yeah, I know enough to jam. Yeah.
I love jamming myself. I love collaborating, especially with friends, man. So we got to put that on the agenda list of things to get into whenever we meet in person.
Yeah, man, that'd be really cool. Some of my favorite bass players, the bass player of Sublime, Eric Wilson, is definitely one of my favorite bass players. Love the bass player for Sublime. The bass player for Rancid, Matt Freeman.
Yes.
If you've never checked out Matt Freeman, he is a beast on the bass.
That dude's a bass god. Matt Freeman is sick.
He definitely one of the best. Tears it up on with the bass, but he's probably my favorite overall. Like as far as like watching him play, how crazy he is.
It's amazing, man. There are days where I'm like, I'll learn a song or write a song, and I'm like, man, I'm pretty good at bass. And just put Matt Freeman on for 1 minute, and I'm like, oh fuck, I got so much work to do. This is nothing compared, Excuse the language too. I'm sorry if I can't.
No, you're good. You're good, man. So let's see. I was gonna ask you who some of your favorite bass players are. What are some of your favorite songs to play? Like, do you know any good cover song? Are you playing all original stuff, or do you have any like cover songs that are go-tos that you just love jamming out to? Or
yeah, so I first, can I just say Tom Sawyer's a bop. There we go. My man knows some Rush. That is a bop.
I never really got into Rush. I never went down that rabbit hole.
I think you might be into them, man. You should try them out. And yeah, so I love to do originals, is where I get more of a kick out of. With that being said, I've definitely learned a lot of songs over the years. I'm self-taught, so it was one of the ways that I taught myself was learning other music. And I love listening to music. I think there's a high you get when you're listening to music, but there's like another level high that you get when you're like playing along to that one of your favorite songs. And so I definitely enjoy doing covers. I think some of my favorite covers are probably Magnificent Seven by Clash. It's a pretty sick bass line. Leaving Babylon by Bad Brains. Which is a slower kind of reggae kind of punk song. Yes, man. I'm a big fan.
They like flip the switch from like hardcore punk rock to reggae, just like in the snap of a finger.
And it's do amazing. It like no one else can do it at the same time, man. It's really cool. And yeah, so I've learned just so many different songs from like pop to punk rock to hip hop. I'm a real big fan of hip hop music as well.
Me too.
Nice. Hey, that's dope, man. See, I don't know if you know this, chat, but this is my first time talking to Scotty over here. We just usually talk in chat, so
Yep.
I'm learning a lot about Scotty in real
Oh yeah.
time.
Yeah, man. That's why I wanted to have you on here so I could learn more.
Thank you,
E-Man,
man.
what's up, man? He says he likes reggae. Definitely a big fan of reggae here. I actually named both of my kids are named after reggae related things. So yeah, both of my kids' names come from reggae.
That's dope, man. I love that, man. I'm a huge fan of reggae myself. What's up, E-Man? Appreciate you hanging out with us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for stopping by, E-Man. What's some of your favorite music that's dropped in 2024? What are you listening to right now?
That's a good question. I'm listening.
Marcus is jamming Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin lately.
Okay,
wow.
The classics. That's dope, man.
That is cool. Nothing wrong with that at all.
No, definitely not, man. I love all types of music and all decades. Sinatra, that's really dope, man.
So what are you jamming on before I cut you? I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
Oh, not at all, man. Not at all. So yeah, I've been listening to a lot. Recently, I think one of my favorite newest drops of 2024 has got to be Tierra Whack's album. Tierra Whack is a rapper, singer, and she just dropped an album a few months ago. It was actually on my birthday, and I got to go to the album release show in New York City in Manhattan.
Did you put that on your you put some pictures of that on your IG, did you not?
Yeah, I did put some pictures.
Seeing that. Yeah, I remember seeing that. That was cool.
Really good, really dope, man. I highly recommend looking up her. She has like this 15-minute kind of long video where it's 15 1-minute songs, and it's as weird as it sounds. It's really amazing visuals with some really great tracks, and that's called
different.
I believe I think it's called Worldwide Whack. I think that's the name of the new album. But yeah, just look up Tierra Whack. Probably one of my favorite contemporary artists, and I've been listening to a lot of her recently, man. How about you?
What have I been listening to lately? I really like this song, and it's funny because I normally don't listen to super heavy stuff, but I really like this Falling in Reverse song.
Okay.
It's got Alex Terrible and Tech Nine.
Hey, I like Tech Nine.
It's called Ronnie, and it's like the hardest, most hardcore song I've ever heard. But I absolutely love it though. Like I really I like Alex Terrible. It's introduced me to like some like growling music that I never knew about because Alex Terrible's pretty cool. But dude, I listen to the same old stuff. Like I listen to Sublime, I listen to Rancid, I listen to a lot of reggae. I love Hepcat. I like Jimmy Cliff. I like Dennis Brown. A lot of reggae people that probably nobody here's ever heard of, but my musical taste is all over the place though. I love hip hop, not anything Nas, any of Nas's early stuff.
Dude, are you serious?
Yeah, any early Outkast, being from the South, like any Dirty South, Lil Boosie, UGK, any Southern rap is my shit.
Man, you keep getting cooler and cooler, man. I'm
really
all over the place. I did this. So Nas is like my favorite rapper, man. I grew up on Nas. He's my number one in top 5. So that's really dope to hear.
He would be my top 5 as well. He would be my top 3 probably.
Hey, I love that, man. And a lot of the artists you name, Sublime, I'm a huge fan of Sublime. One of their songs was one of the first bass lines I ever learned was, I don't know if I should say the name on YouTube. It's kind of a Date Grape.
Oh, yeah. You're good. You're fine.
Yeah. So Date Grape was one of the first bass lines I ever learned, which is another great bassist.
The music video featured Ron Jeremy too.
Oh, that sounds awful. I'm not sure if I remember seeing that music video.
He was the graper.
Oh, after knowing everything now, that definitely doesn't age well, right?
Yeah. Oh, we got E-Man saying Goody Mob. Absolutely. Atlanta ATL legends right there. Absolutely. And Marcus, didn't mean to not shout out Kansas City. Kansas City is in the building.
Shout out Kansas.
Yes. So getting into comics, man, we hadn't even talked about comics yet. What sucked you down the comic rabbit hole? What got you collecting comics? How old were you when you started collecting comics?
So I started at a really early age. I think for me, being someone who's creative myself, an artist, um, I always like, and I fantasize, I daydream a lot. So for me, like any form of escapism was something that was appealing to me. Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
Bobby
yeah, we
quoting
do.
Sublime.
Um, and so yeah, so it started with watching like Batman the animated series and X-Men and Spider-Man, those animated series from the 90s, and getting a comic here and there from like my local comic slash video game kind of pop culture shop. Um,
Cool.
and unfortunately, like a lot of kids, I didn't really take care of any of those books that I had at a really early age. But around 16, I would say maybe 15, 16, I got back into it. I never stopped liking comics. I was always a big fan, and I started getting some graphic novels here and there. And then I went to the shop and started getting floppies, and I haven't looked back since. And yeah, I've been collecting for over 2 decades, or I want to say close to 2 decades. Excuse me, sorry guys.
Wow.
Uh, Close to 2 decades strong. I go to Comic Con every year, New York City Comic Con, that is. I also hit up
Wow.
a couple
Okay.
other small shows. Shout out to King Kong Comic Show that happens in Jersey every springtime. So yeah, man, it's been one of my favorite um, joys and just passions since I was young, and now I'm just heavy into it. Wednesday Warrior, as they're called, I think. I have the pull list going on and all that stuff, and spec stuff. Sometimes I get into that as well. Or even if I'm not buying the book, I definitely get hyped when I see a book I bought that's like worth a lot more than I paid for it. Like Ultimate Spider-Man #1. I see you're getting the reprints there. I'm sure
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have that first printing, man. I just bought it just because I was like, yeah, I'm going to be on board for this. Let me see what happens.
Yeah,
And then
looks
it's like
good.
$80. 2 hours later, I'm like, whoa. I'm not going
I
to sell
know,
it,
man.
but it's fun. That's a fun aspect of collecting for
It
me.
is. It is. It is. I agree. It. I get sucked in, and sometimes I get sucked in a little too hard with the FOMO, but it's okay.
Yeah,
It's part of the fun of it. I
it
agree.
happens.
Yeah, it happens. That's cool, man. You've collected for a long ass time.
Um, yeah, it's been a while, and I didn't know how much I was collecting until like I guess my space started to get much smaller and smaller, and then also I did a year of working primarily freelance writing, which was fun to get
Okay.
paid to write, but also not a lot of money. So what I ended up doing was actually selling some of my books and some statues. I like statues and collectibles and those
Very
as
cool.
well. And once I started like selling stuff is when I realized like, holy shit, Serge, you've accumulated a lot of collectibles and a good amount of stuff that was worth a pretty penny. So it's really cool to have, and something I really value, not just because some of it has value, monetary value, that is. Let me say, I don't want to just, I hope I'm getting across that I don't just collect just for money
Yeah,
or whatever.
you're a true collector. You collect for the right reasons as well. Yeah, of course, man. I see what you're saying. And shout out to Brian. He's pointing out reminder that the CBC Award 2024 CBC Award nominations are open until 8/10. So be sure to go nominate your favorites. And Marcus threw it out there, cbcawards.org. That's exactly where you go if you need to vote. So if you want to go put in your nominations, that's where you need to go right there. So still got plenty of time, but when you get ready to, you know where to go. But
Yeah.
what's
Let's
your
show them some love, man. Let's show the CB. I'm sorry, Scotty. I just want to say, let's show them some love. Let's show Scotty some love, comic book addicts. And I don't want to be just the guy that's plugging the amazing dude that's doing the show I'm on. Even if you
okay?
want to vote for someone else, definitely vote for this guy right here. But just go show some love. I think it's really important because the community that has been built over the last, I want to say, decade on YouTube. And I know there's a lot of different pockets of people who hang out on these streams and that streams, but I think it's a really amazing thing. And for me, who isn't the biggest fan of social media and all the stuff that goes on the interwebs, this is like one of my favorite places to be able to come to. And, a lot of us don't have all the personal friends, close friends that know all the ins and outs of
Yeah,
these nerdy things. So, this is a great space to meet people like that. So definitely go show some love, vote for Comic Book Addicts. And I'm sorry, dude. But I just want to say that.
No, dude, and I appreciate you. And there are also a lot of other really good channels out there, a lot of deserving channels as well. Marcus mentioned FOC and Chill, an awesome Tuesday night live stream. If you guys aren't checking out FOC and Chill, definitely worthy of a nomination. Marcus with FOC and Chill, and he is very close to 1K, as I mentioned when I opened the show. So if you aren't subscribed to Circumstances, SURCAM stances, STA, you can see it. You can see it on the screen right there. Go sub to my dude Marcus if you're not subbed already. You got to get him to 1,000 soon. It's well deserved. Bobby De La Ghetto, you can never get sucked in too hard. Absolutely. Very true. E-Man for best hair. Absolutely. I would agree with that. Definitely worthy of the best hair, E-Man. So for sure. Marcus, vote Scotty too. Yeah, man, if you want to, I'll take the nomination. I'm not going to turn it down. But what are some of your favorite characters? What's the type of stuff that you're collecting? What do you enjoy collecting the most?
So growing up, I hate to sound cliche, but I think Batman, Spider-Man are two of,
the staple characters that got a lot of us. Yeah, that's a lot of us.
Exactly. Yeah, arguably, the two probably most popular comic book characters just in general, right? Next to, I think, Supes and maybe some of the folk on the Avengers. But with that being said, I also love the Flash. Ever since I was a child, Wally West specifically was my Flash growing up, and I was so happy to see him come back as the Flash a few years ago. So yeah, the Flash is another one. The Silver Surfer is another character that I adore.
How do you feel with them doing if they do the female Silver Surfer? How are you going to feel about that?
I really don't think it's going to be Norrin Rad. I'm part of that camp. Did they confirm that it's Norrin?
I think they're saying it's going to be a female, that it's going to be the female version. I don't know. I could be totally wrong.
There are female surfers or heralds that have a kind of surfer look and such. So I'm just not sure if it's going to be one of those characters, or maybe she's going to play one of the other woman heralds that are, Galactus has.
Would you be okay with it if it ended up being one of the female versions of Silver Surfer that showed up?
If it's Norrin Rad, I think I would be disappointed, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to
I kind of would be. I want to see I'd rather see the Silver Surfer we grew up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want to see personally. That's
exactly.
Okay.
And he's such an important character, such a powerful character. And I'm not going to hate the movie immediately, but I would be disappointed. I just want them to do the Silver Surfer right. They tried with that last Fantastic Four, or a couple Fantastic Four movies ago, and I really didn't like that version, to be honest. So I would love to see a proper Surfer, even if they did take liberties with certain aspects of his origin, or power sets or things like that, because Marvel loves to change things around with their films, as far as based off of the source material, the comics and stuff. But yeah, either way, I'm going to be really excited to see Surfer. And if it is a woman Surfer, and if it doesn't go well, hopefully I'll be alive in another 20 years when they try again. And then maybe we'll see a proper Surfer then. So yeah, I collect a lot from the big two, but to be honest, over the years and up until now, on my pull list at least, it's a lot less from the big two, and it's a lot more indie heavy. Cool. So I'm a huge fan of indie comics, and just to name a few, Ice Cream Man, Something is Killing the Children,
awesome.
Are probably two that I've been enjoying for a few years now.
That's really good series.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. And yeah, I think that's a good enough. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much. Appreciate you, chat, for hanging out. What about you, Scotty?
I was just curious. Those are both really good series. I enjoy Ice Cream Man, and that's a good series that you can jump in at any issue and not be lost. They're all self-contained, kind of one-shot stories each issue. So Ice Cream Man's it's a very good indie series.
Yeah, exactly. It's an anthology, right? So every issue is a new story. I think W. Maxwell Prince is one of the best writers just out there. I love the other projects he's done. Ha Ha, the miniseries about
Haha
clowns, was
was good. I love
one of my
clowns, so I
favorites.
like Haha.
Oh gosh, you got to cut it out, man. I'm a huge fan of clowns myself too. Stop being so cool, dude. Stop being so cool. I'm gonna have to plan this trip sooner than I was planning than I was
For sure.
expecting. Um,
Avengers Twilight. Have you read Avengers Twilight?
no,
That
I
was a
haven't.
good series. Oh my god, dude! Wait till it comes out in trade and pick up the Avengers Twilight trade. That's been probably my favorite read of this year.
Who's doing that one? Is that that's not the Chip Zdarsky one, is it?
It, yeah. It's Zdarsky is the writer, and
Uh,
it's Alex Ross. Yeah, Alex Ross on the art.
Alex Ross is doing the covers, right?
Yeah,
Um,
he was
yeah,
doing the main cover, and who was doing the interior art? Y'all let me know in the comments who was doing the interior art on that series. But Avengers Twilight was fantastic. It's been really good.
I just wanted to confirm it was that series. Yeah, so I actually heard about how good it was going, and Chip Zdarsky is one of my favorite writers out right now. And so I actually have a few of the issues. I have I have four of the five issues. So I was waiting to get them all, and then I was going to read it. I haven't read it at all yet, but I am
Yeah,
hoping to get issue 5 and 6. I know it came out, I think it wrapped up maybe a month or two ago, but definitely hoping to get those last two issues so then I can
sure,
read
yeah.
it because I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Oh, it's fantastic, man. As far as like stuff you picked up in your collection, have you like do you bin dive a lot? Do you hit bargain bins a lot looking for keys and stuff like that that you're looking for in your or how do you collect? Do you just hit up New Comic Book Day and you get the new releases, or I don't know, people collect all different ways, but what do
That,
you hunt for keys and stuff like that?
um, I like to do a bit of it all. I think that's one of the best things about this hobby, right? Is that there's so many different ways to collect, and you should collect however you want. If that
Yeah,
means, 50
there's so many
centers,
different ways to
keys.
collect.
Exactly. Yeah. For me, I think it's definitely I have the pull list that I go to pick up at least every couple weeks. I try and hit up the shop to pick up those books. Used to be a lot more, but funds are a little more limited now, and just time as well. So
Yeah.
I was at a time going to the shop around like 3 times, 2 times a week. When I had
Who's
a
your
shop.
LCS? Who's your LCS?
So I have a few shops that I go to over here. Collector's Cave, shout out Collector's Cave.
Yeah,
Shout
shout out to
out,
LCS.
um, yeah. There's one in the Bronx. There's one in Yonkers. Shout out to New York Hardcore Comics and Newberry Comics too, which is like a novelty shop, but they have some comics as well. And yeah, so I like to do that, but I also pick up keys and stuff like that. Usually, I wait until I go to a show,
Oh,
and
so you're
that's when.
picking up. That's right. You said you go to cons and stuff, so you're probably saving your money and hitting up, taking advantage of that while you're there, right?
That's definitely one of the things that I like to do, and I think
Nice.
it's wild the amount of money I've spent at some of these, especially the New York comic conventions.
Is that
That's
the best
typically
one?
where
Is that what's your favorite one that you go to out of all of them? Like, what's the main event for you every year?
I feel like for me, I do love the small shows. Shout out to King Kong Comic Show, definitely my favorite of the smaller shows. But
Cool.
I am a huge nerd of not just comic books, but I love films. I love cosplay. I love being
Awesome.
able to go to panels and meet all these people. So for me, it's definitely New York Comic Con. It's such a spectacle every year. I always make memories that I just cherish forever, and I get to meet some of my favorite artists and authors and just all this dope stuff. So for me, it's definitely New York Comic Con, and that's where I'll probably pick up keys and definitely do bin diving. I have some money set aside for the dollar boxes and try and see if I can find some books, fill in some runs and such like that.
Awesome. Yeah, because what I was trying to get to was, what are you on the hunt for right now? Are there any keys, particular keys, or certain like personal grails that you're on the hunt for this year?
Yeah, definitely. There always is for us hardcore collectors, right?
Oh hell yeah,
Um, I think for me, so
definitely.
there's a couple books. I hate to say this. There's a couple books that I sold that I wanna buy back.
I've been there.
So I think a lot of us have been there, right? It
Yeah,
happens. Um,
probably.
so Strange Adventures two. I think it's 205 First Dead Man. I'm a real big fan of Deadman.
Oh, that's
And
cool. It's a cool character.
uh, an awesome character. He's so dope. I'm really into things spooky and October and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
a
me
dead
too.
superhero is right up my alley. Um,
Definitely.
so I want to get first Deadman back. I think not to get into spec talk, but I really feel like we're going to see him in James Gunn's DC cinematic universe. I can't see if they don't do a Justice League Dark. I can't see Deadman not making some kind of appearance at some point. So
Yeah,
definitely pick up your Deadman books now, even though they're definitely going for more now than they were a year ago. But you know how the market is; it goes up and down.
true.
Um, I think a couple other books that I'm on the lookout for are so I want to get Mayhem #1. That's first Stanley Ipkiss as Mask.
Oh, nice.
I know you're a fan of the Mask series.
Oh, dude, I love
Um,
the Mask. Yes, absolutely. The comics are awesome. If you guys have never read any of the Mask comics, they're so much fun, and there's so many good different Mask series out there. Really good.
yeah, they're gnarly as hell, man.
They
And
are.
I seen
They
your
are.
collection of some of your books that you collected a while back ago, and I was just so jelly. So definitely, I have Dark Horse Presents. So I think I have it nearby. I don't know if you'll be able to see it too well on
Hold
the
on, I'll make you. I'll enlarge you on the screen
screen.
here. Give me
I
one
have the
second.
light
Here we
here.
go. Boom. There you go.
Sorry about the light, guys. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, but
man.
that's Dark Horse Presents #10. So that's the first appearance of the original Mask, and then the Mask that we all love and know from the film and the animated series and the other comics is Stanley Ipkiss, I believe, is the
Come on.
character's name. And
Hold that up again. Hold that up for us again, because I want to
sure.
get a better look at that. Because that's been a book that I've kind of always been on the lookout for. So it's got concrete on the front.
Concrete's on the front, and there he goes. That's the original Mask right there.
There
Dark
he
Horse
is.
Presents issue #10.
That's a
I'm
cool
sorry
ass
for
book.
not the best visuals.
It's okay, man. Yeah, there's a little glare, but it's okay. We could see the Mask. That's a really good book, dude. That's awesome. That's a book I would love to have in my collection.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I was on the hunt for it for a while, and I found a pretty nice copy for a good price. And yeah, now I just got to get Mayhem #1. I'm also trying to fill in the Demon run. The Demon Etrigan is another one of my favorite characters,
Very cool.
and I started collecting the original run. So I have the first one, the first issue, which is the big book. And yeah, I have a handful of those. So one of the older titles that I'm trying to collect.
That's an awesome character. Yeah, very cool. Some classic artwork on that series too. And we had Dr. Von Hoot popping in saying, "Evening all. What's up, Hoot?
Hey,
Welcome,
what's going
man.
on, Doctor?
I hope you're doing well. I know it's probably really late where you are in England, but thank you for coming out, man. Thank you so much. Just talking to Sergio here about the different comic books and stuff that he collects, and different. We're currently talking about what books he's on the hunt for this year. So, what are some books that you've picked up in recent history, like maybe the last 6 months, that you're like, hell yeah, I finally got to knock it off the list? Have you picked up anything good recently?
As I look around my room to see.
I mean, you don't have to show us if it's not out. You can just talk about it.
Yeah, no, just to remind myself. I did one of the contemporary series, or one of the more recent series that is coming out. I'm not sure if you're reading. I think you probably are. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees.
Dude, I was late. I was late getting on that one. I'm. Oh, we lost him. He'll be back in a second. I was late getting on that series actually. So I ended up having to trade weight that series. So as soon as a good trade paperback comes out for Beneath the Trees, I'm definitely going to pick it up, because I did read issue 3, and just to see if I thought I would like it and get a feel for the interior art and the writing style, and I loved it. I thought it looked really, really good. And so as soon as a good trade paperback comes out for that, then I'm definitely going to pick it up. And our guest is back. Sergio's back, man. What's up?
So sorry about that.
You're perfectly fine. I just continued what I was saying. I knew you'd come right back. But what I was saying is, Beneath the Trees, I was a little late getting on that series. But I kind of skimmed through issue 3 enough to know that it looks really good. So what I'm doing is I'm trade waiting. As soon as a good trade comes out for it, I'm going to pick it up and read it because it looks great.
Yeah, it's a really dope series. It's one of those that if you didn't get on it early on, it became kind of difficult to buy. Another book where like the number one kind of went up. I think it was like $60-$70 at one point. I'm not sure how much it's going for now, but had a bunch of reprints, so you can get the reprints for I'm pretty sure retail price. So if you wanted to collect the floppies, it's 6 issues. Highly recommended. I was able to collect all 6 A and B covers, a couple of the reprints, and I got this really gnarly foil at a small comic show that I went to a couple months ago of the first issue. So I was really happy to pick that up.
Awesome.
Another book I got recently or a few months back, actually, a while back, was first appearance of Spider Boy. Can we talk about Spider Boy?
Yeah, man, I love Spider Boy. That's a definite one of the newer characters that I've really grown to love. I like Spider Boy a lot.
Spider Boy is a fun character. I know he's kind of polarizing. People feel like there's too many Spider people at this point, but I did pick up a CGC slab of his first appearance, and I got it for like really cheap. So I don't feel too bad if it never goes up in price.
Good pickup, I'm trying. Man. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me too, man. And I'm trying to get my slab collection up. So I have a small collection of CGC, but definitely feel like I'm gonna get more in the future.
So you're slowly building up your slab collection there, getting into some graded comics.
Yeah, very slowly, in that I might get like 1 a year, or something like that, or 2. But I do feel like I'm definitely gonna continue to collect. I'm not someone who wants to get all my books slabbed up. I'm definitely gonna always have more raws and collect raw more. But definitely a fan of slabs as well.
Hell yeah. And TM Nerdy was saying he didn't get in on it either. His trade reads and pull list was already too much to add another. I feel that. What I was planning on doing was because so many people in the community said that it was such a good book that I figured they'll probably end up doing a really nice hardcover for it. And when they do like a deluxe hardcover, I'll grab that because it'll be really cool to read that way. I like those deluxe hardcovers.
I feel like they'll definitely do some exclusive drops because it was such a popular series that, especially if it ends up coming out around the fall time, when or even maybe this summer for San Diego Comic-Con or for New York Comic-Con in the fall, I can see them doing some kind of cool exclusive covers as well. But definitely that's such a good series that I can see myself buying the trade or maybe even the hardcover just to have it in that format again. As well, rather, and to read it again is what I meant to say in the future.
Definitely.
So, really cool. What we got going on over here? Bobby Della Ghetto. It's so hot. I seen a squirrel in front of a leaf blower blowing off.
I believe that, Bobby. I believe it, man. I believe that. We got TM Nerdy saying, hey to Wellbore. Yeah, the chat's been awesome tonight. Thanks, you guys. And TM Nerdy was saying which Spider Boy, because there's only really one. Do you mean when you say there's really only one, do you mean the amalgam Spider Boy? Is that your favorite, TM Nerdy? Or are you talking the Spider Boy we're talking about, the Marvel Spider Boy? Because
is the amalgam, is that Superboy /
there was a Spider Boy in amalgam. And I have the comics. There was just a Spider Boy comic, and then there was a Spider Boy team up comic, and they were part of the amalgam books. And
that's cool.
I picked them up recently out of the dollar bins, just nice. For the heck of it, just because I like Spider Boy, just to add them to my other Spider Boy stuff. Because for some reason, if you collect Spider Boy keys, that's part of the Spider Boy keys, even though it's not the same character. Make sense of that.
You know how it is out here in the comic game, man.
Right, absolutely, man.
They'll make you pick up 4 or 5 different books. You got to get the cameo, you got to get the first cover appearance and
the origin. Yeah, the origin story. The first team up with Spider-Man, the first battle with this major villain.
Yeah, they got us, man. They got us good.
Yep. And then the foils, the reprints, the foil reprints.
The facsimiles, bro, it's wild out here with the fac. Can we talk about facsimiles for a second? So I love
Yeah, man.
facsimiles, right? But when I see,
I'm enjoying them.
I love them. But when I see a facsimile of like a book from the 90s that you could probably pick up for like $10, $20, it's really weird to spend $8.99 on a facsimile of a book that I can get the original for, $5 more or something.
That is weird, man. Okay, and I'll throw an example. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's been a while now, but they reprinted the first appearance, I think, of like Joe Fixit. We'll throw Joe Fixit out there. The first appearance of Grey Hulk, Joe Fixit. His first appearance, the real comic book's only like a $15 book. Exactly. But they reprinted that. Like they're reprinting books like that. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
They're reprinting the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is an amazing series, definitely a monumental one for comic book lore, in my opinion. But they're reprinting those, and some of those, the foils go for, I think, like $8, $9, or maybe $7 to $9, right? And I was doing the math in my head. You can get all 12 of the original issues for probably under 100. I've seen it go for 80. You could probably get it for less.
Yeah, because there's like there's a couple of keys in that series, but the majority of the series are pretty cheap. Like they're not expensive books.
Exactly, yeah. And even the keys in those, I believe, are maybe $20, $30. Exactly. And then the rest of them are like, you can get for $5 or under probably. So it's really weird. I do love the ones from like the 60s, first Superman, first Iron Man. Those facsimiles, I think that's really dope to be able to look through and see all the original ads and things like that. Those kind of books that I could probably never afford. It's really cool to own a version of that.
It is. And I'm buying them all up. I enjoy looking at them. And even if it's like an expensive book that if I actually own it, I'll still buy the reprint just so I can look at the reprint and not have to open my real book.
Yes, so. I've done that as well, man. I think probably the biggest key I own right now. I'm not trying to flex here, guys. It's not the biggest key in the world, but it's probably FF48 for Silver Surfer.
Oh, shit, that's a big one.
Thank you, man. I bought it a while ago too, so much cheaper than it's going for now. But I definitely looked through it when I first got it, just because I couldn't not. I wanted to make sure the book was intact and had all the pages and stuff, but also just to be able to look through that. But since then, I never looked at it. But then they came out with a facsimile of that issue, and I picked that up and I read the whole thing, and I've looked through it multiple times since then, just because I'm such a fan of the character. So I think, facsimiles are great for that as well, man, to pick up so you don't mess up the original copy.
Yeah, and Jonathan makes a good point. He said facsimiles should only be made if the book is over triple digits, in his opinion. Like Hulk 181 was completely fair, but Crisis on Infinite Earth is wild. Yeah, I think I don't know. I think DC saw a little bit of what Marvel was doing with Secret Wars. I don't know who was doing it first, but maybe it was one of those things where they saw that Marvel was going to reprint Secret Wars in its entirety. So they're like, all right, we're going to do Crisis on Infinite Earths just like that. I don't know.
You know, the big two love to copy one another. And I feel it's been facsimile heavy for at least a year, maybe 2 years now. Facsimiles are always coming out, but it's just such a regular thing. Every month is a new slate of facsimiles. And you know how that can get overwhelming and can turn people off.
It can get overwhelming. And some of them I'm skipping on, but the majority of them, they got me. The majority of them I am picking up. I'm guilty. I'm grabbing.
I don't blame you.
Biggie Shaq, man, welcome. Thanks for showing up. We got Biggie Shaq in the house.
Hey, what up, Shaq?
I end every Comic Book Addicts with Biggie Shaq. So thank you for showing up, the immortal Biggie Shaq, man, and hanging out with us. Now, are you do you cover buy? Do you pick up, are there any artists out there that you're picking up all their covers? You collect exclusively certain artists, or?
I definitely do have some cover buys. That's not the majority of my pickups, but it's really hard to turn down sometimes.
Some people don't at all. Some people don't cover buy at all, and I get it.
I definitely get that, but I can't help myself sometimes. I think some of my favorite artists that I'll usually pick up for some stellar covers are probably Jenny Frison. Definitely, I think an amazing artist. I love her Harley Quinn stuff. I love her work on Something is Killing the Children.
She's been on a hot streak recently too. Like everything she's put out has been really, really good.
And I'm eating it all up. her Poison Ivy. Her covers on Poison Ivy. I got to meet
Mhm.
her at last year's New York Comic Con. She's a really sweet person as well.
I'm actually waiting on the Scarlet Witch she put out a couple weeks ago.
I did see that. Yeah, that's a
I
beautiful
got a
one.
signed copy that's supposed to be here Friday
Oof.
from Heroes Con. I bought it from
Hey,
a seller friend that was there. So
that's
yeah,
awesome, dude, man. Heroes Con looked like such a good time, man, and that's gonna definitely be a dope Friday for you.
yeah, I can't wait to get that book. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, dude. You were right dead in the middle of what you were saying.
No, not please cut me off, man. I'm loving the chat that we're having. I hope this isn't too much of a bore. Just hearing about all the stuff I love, chat. Thank you so much for hanging
I'm
out.
enjoying it,
I
man.
appreciate you all.
I'm having
Um,
fun, dude. And the chat's popping off. I think the chat's having fun as well. Thanks for coming out, guys. We appreciate you. Yeah, man.
I
So
think another artist. So David Nakayama is probably another cover artist that I'll
he's
just.
awesome.
It's so beautiful. It pops so much every time, and so there's a few of his covers that I just couldn't help but pick up as well.
Nakayama is he's another one of those people that are kind of on a hot streak right now. He's killing it out here. Marcus
Definitely.
was just soft risen at Heroes. So Marcus was there. A lot of the people in this chat were there.
Hey Marcus, what did you get signed?
His books from her are getting graded now, and he got the Scarlet Witch print, and I think he got the print signed by her. So he got this really
Nice.
nice Scarlet Witch print, and I believe he probably got it signed. And let us know in the comments which books are getting graded, because I'm curious. She's been on an absolute hot streak, so she's put out a lot of good stuff lately. Dr. Von Hoot will do, TM. Thanks. And Bobby De La Ghetto thanking somebody. We got Travis. The whole point of this is to get to know you. Absolutely, man. And we're
Hey,
enjoying getting to know you, Sergio. And I hope I'm not keeping you on here too long, man. We got Between the Lines is canceled, so we got a few extra minutes if you want to talk for a few extra minutes.
definitely,
You got
man.
anywhere you got to be?
No, man. This is my night right here. I'm enjoying this. Thank you. I'll definitely hang out for a couple more minutes. And
Cool. Cool.
thank you, TM Nerdy. I appreciate the reassurance there. Thank you all for hanging out.
Yeah, man. Marcus says he sent her
Woo!
8 billion genies cover, which was amazing. That I have that, but not signed and not graded. So congratulations. It's signed by her, Charles Soule, and Ryan. I don't remember. Is it Ryan Brown? I could be dead wrong,
Yeah,
but
yeah. It's Ryan Brown. Yep, you got it.
okay. I also got her House of Slaughter issue 15 variant. Very nice.
That's
Nice.
awesome, Marcus. I'm a huge fan of 8 Billion Genies. I was able to get Ryan to sign my issue 1, and it's really sick cover. It's like a picture of his cat, like a real close-up picture of his cat, and it has glitter all over it. I think it's the glitter cat cover. But yeah, it was really cool meeting him. I love that series. Those sound like some awesome pickups.
That's awesome, man. Who's on your list of like people that you're dying to meet this year? Is there anybody in particular that you're like? There are a couple of local cons that I'm going to later this year, and I'm looking forward to meeting Jim Shooter and Larry Hama and a few legends like
Ooh.
that. But who are some people that you're looking forward to meeting later this year? Are there any? Cohen,
Uh,
yes, I love Carla Cohen.
a Yeah, I think for me, when I was thinking about Comic Con or New York Comic Con, where I usually uh, meet some of those bigger artists and authors, um, this is going to be my 15th consecutive New York Comic Con. That's right, that's 15 in a
Damn,
row.
you're a
Um,
veteran.
I love the stuff,
Veteran.
and I'm including the COVID year because they did a digital thing, which I participated in. And I even
Cool.
went to the Javits Center with a group of friends. We walked around the Javits Center in downtown Manhattan. That's where they have New York Comic Con, if anybody's not familiar. But we
Okay.
even went to the center. You know, we had our mask on and stuff, and just walked around and hung out outside during the week that it would have happened.
Yeah.
So I'm including COVID that year. So yeah, 15 years. So since this is such a
Damn.
big year, I was thinking about getting into original art finally, which I do have a couple little things here and there. So I
Nice.
was hopeful to pick up some original art this year. That's kind of
Wow.
maybe a key, but I think I'm going to lean towards that and possibly submitting some stuff to get graded, some stuff from my PC. I think would be a nice combo to celebrate 15 years at the con. Getting some books graded and then getting some original art.
Man, that's an awesome answer. And that's something that I've wanted to possibly get into myself. It's very expensive getting original art. But like there was a Trish Forstner piece during Comics Curing Cancer, and I had up to $350 I could bid on it, and of course I lost. It went for a lot more. But man, I would have loved to have gotten that piece. But one day I'm gonna find the right original art piece, and it will be mine, and I will love it forever. So maybe one day.
I'm gonna send my prayers to the nerd deities so that you find that piece, man. And Trish Forstner, is that how you say her name?
Forstner,
yes. I love her stuff. I love her stuff on Stray Dogs, man. So I don't blame you for really wanting that piece. And I think one of my favorite artists, who I mentioned earlier, Ben Templesmith, he's doing the work on Crashdown.
Yeah, we'll be talking about him next Monday. Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome. I really love this original miniseries he did. He did a couple volumes of it called Wormwood Gentleman Corpse. I highly recommend. It's about this little worm, symbiote worm that takes over this zombie body and walks around in a suit and smokes cigarettes and drinks beer. And it's like the sci-fi kind of really cool book that he did the art and he wrote as well. So I was thinking of maybe getting an original Wormwood Gentleman Corpse piece from Ben Templesmith. I'm pretty sure he's there almost every year. I've met him a few times already, but that's just an idea. I don't know if that's where I'm going for. As you said, original art is so expensive, so it might be a small piece, but I think that's what I'm going to try and do this year.
Even a small piece. I mean, I would still love to just have like a small, I mean, it doesn't have to be like a huge piece for me to, I would be very happy with just a small piece. Just an original art piece by somebody that I admire would be great. And we got Gary Woods claiming Cap 304. Claim Cap 304.
Is Cap out here? Yeah. Cap season out here, Gary? What's going on?
But let's see. If any of you guys have any questions for Sergio, we got a couple more minutes. If any of you guys have any questions at all that you want to ask, feel free to ask. What do you have coming up? You got anything going on as far as like social media stuff this year? Or you don't really do a whole lot of YouTube, do you? You just mainly do Instagram?
So I mean, I do have a YouTube channel that I made with some friends. Where we kind of just mess around. We post stuff like every now and then. It's
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's called the Multiverse Odyssey. Excuse me. Yeah.
The Multiverse Odyssey.
Yep, that's us. We have some fun vlog stuff on there, but it's we don't post often. But yeah, if you want to go check us out, that would be cool. I am trying to get more into film work and more music stuff this summer, so I'm looking forward to that. And
you do writing. Like, are you doing you have any goals with your writing for this year?
Yeah. I'm working on a lot of stuff, a lot of original stuff that I'm hoping to compile and put together and then try and put out there. And I also have the column.
Thank you, Marcus. He dropped the link for us.
Marcus, you are the man. Appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then I have the column on CBSI, Gutters with Geo, on comicbookinvest.com.
Cool. I'm going to check that out for sure. That's really cool.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. And yeah, I publish on there last Thursday of every month. It's once a month. I'll let you know how I'm feeling about some stuff that's going on in the comic book world. And yeah, this Thursday, I'm going to be publishing my next column, my column for June. It's going to be, here we go. You're about to get an exclusive. The upcoming article that's going to be published in a couple of days is going to be about vacationing in NYC and the best comic shops to visit if you ever did a summer vacation in NYC. So I'm going to talk about a few shops that are around here that I think are a great place to visit, depending on the borough that you're at. So look out for that, Thursday on comicbookinvest.com.
That is great, man. I think that's cool because I've never been to New York. So if I was going to come to New York, which I hope to someday so I can hang out with you, we can kick it and play some bass and jam and stuff. But if I came up there, I would definitely need something like that because I'm looking for the good comic shops. That's an absolutely good idea, man. And we also got a question from Bobby De La Ghetto. He wanted to know what your first concert was, or actually first concert, best concert, worst concert. So we got a 3-part question from Bobby De La Ghetto.
That is a good question. Appreciate
That is
you,
a good
Bobby,
question.
coming in with the questions. My first concert was the band's Warped Tour in 2003. I was like
Dude,
13.
I'm a
Yeah,
Vans Warped Tour veteran, man. I used to go all
yeah.
the time. I went 97, 2001,
Woo.
03. Yeah,
Fuck
dude.
yeah, dude. You are
I'm
definitely
old. I'm old.
OG. Or nah, man, you're not old, dude, but you're definitely an OG for the Warped Tour, man. That's awesome. That was definitely my first concert, and it was a festival, so that was kind of a big way to do it. I went with a lot of friends. I ended up going to a couple years of the Warped Tour. I
That's
think
awesome.
my best concert is a tie, is a toss up. It would have to be between seeing Bob Dylan live. I'm a huge Dylan fan. I think he's, a legend. And being able to see him live, shred on the guitar, do
Hmm.
the harmonica, that was life changing, if you will. And I think I also have to include Afropunk. So I like going to music festivals, and there's one in New York called Afropunk that happens in Brooklyn. And I went to the 2019 one, 2 days, and had such an amazing time. The shows, the art installations, I met people there, such a good time. My worst concert, that's a tough one. I don't know what the worst one. There are a couple bands that I saw that are just lifeless on stage, and I
Hmm.
feel like it's really hard to turn up for a song that you want to bounce around when the guitarist is like stiff and not moving and the singer barely says a word to us. So I can't think of one specifically, but definitely shows where it's just like poor stagemanship, if you will, where they're just like dead on stage playing the music. Like that's not cool.
Yeah, yeah. And like there's a particular artist that I've seen before, Aaron Lewis. I was at a festival and Aaron Lewis was there who I think he sang for shit, what was the band? I want to say maybe it was Disturbed or a band like that, but he was doing a country act on his own, like a solo act. But he was so drunk on stage he couldn't perform properly. So that was probably my worst was seeing
Man,
Aaron Lewis because he was just so shitty drunk
oh,
that like he was slurring, dude, bad, like real bad. So
that
yeah,
sucks, man. That's so disappointing.
yeah, because he is actually a pretty decent country artist. If you like any country at all, um, he actually had some decent country music, but he can't perform live, obviously, when he drinks because he drinks too much.
Yeah, that sucks, man. Were there other artists at the festival though that you were able to enjoy?
Yeah. This was like a local. This was like back when they were doing the local Riverbend Festival here. So they used to have good acts. They would get like kind of they would get acts that used to be big but aren't as big anymore, like Boys to Men, Kid Rock,
Oh,
um,
shit.
people that used to be really big but they are not big anymore. They would get those types.
Those can
Um,
be fun shows, man. I once went to a free Smash Mouth show. It was like outside. It was such a good time.
um, I had a dude. I've heard some funny ass stories about the singer of Smash Mouth. We had the writer of how I became a shoplifter. It's a series on Sumerian, a very good book. This comic
Nice.
book series, but we had the writer of it on here, and he also played for a really big punk band, Reliant K.
Oh, I know
And
Reliant K. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah, dude. So he's been on Comic Book Addicts before, and he was
Nice.
telling me a story on here about he had a run in when he was younger with the lead singer of Smash Mouth. Like they basically walked in on him in his dressing room, like rubbing one out after the
No,
show.
no
Yeah,
me
dude, it
diga
was like
eso.
total perv mode or something like that. So yeah, I've heard some crazy stories about Smash Mouth here on Comic Book Addicts.
Wow. You know what's worse about that is that like that totally makes sense to me. Like I'm not surprised that that's what
I
he was
believe
doing
it.
in there.
I could totally see it.
I,
I've heard stories about him being kind of douchey. So
I hate how plausible that is, man. I'm sorry that your friend walked in on that, but
it's
I,
horrible.
I'll say that I didn't see any of that when I got to see them. Just mentioning, like, you know, some of those older artists that aren't as big anymore that sometimes you'll catch at a show out here, and those can definitely be some fun shows,
Yeah.
as long as there's no you know, none of that touching yourself stuff going on.
And Marcus, it's all about the time. There's a time and a place. In the privacy of your own home, you're good, bro. You're good.
How about can we lock the door instead of locking you up, Marcus? Can we just lock the door when we're doing that?
Just lock the door, get in the shower, whatever.
J-Rock, I love the J-Rock quote.
Nice. Wellbore coming in the clutch.
Trailer Park Boys is a dope show, man.
Bobby De La Ghetto. Hey, now you're a rock star.
Hey.
I thought this was America.
As long as you're not a cock star, you know what I mean?
Yes. Right. He was in a room by himself. Well, yeah. I mean, he did say he was in a room by himself, but I don't know. It was just a weird situation.
Did the door have a lock, though? Maybe he could have still locked. I mean, whatever you got to do to get ready for a show. But
it seemed like this. I can't remember the exact scenario because I've done so many between now and then. But it seemed like it was just like a really pervy situation altogether. I think there was a lot more to it, but
maybe he didn't stop is the thing. And Bobby, I'm loving all these Smash Mouth quotes. They're really hitting.
Nice. Yeah, we've heard that. That definitely takes the cake. That, and when we had Sonia Saturday on, her Ron Jeremy stories, because she's in Hollywood. So Sonia Saturday has some pretty hilarious Ron Jeremy stories. So
I can only imagine.
Real life run-ins with Ron Jeremy. Wellbore. My brother went to college with Mike Smith.
What? That's awesome. So dope. Are you from Canada, Wellbore?
Yeah, he is. He's actually Canadian.
Hey. Shout out to my folk in Canada. What's up? Thank you for hanging out, man. That's really cool about Bubbles.
Several Canadians in here tonight. Travis TM Nerdy, he is in Canada. And Chris the Comic Vet was in here earlier. He is also in Canada. So,
you know what I wanted to talk about earlier when you brought up music? How are we feeling about Drake in Canada? I know just because you're Canadian doesn't mean that you were rooting for Drake versus Kendrick or that you immediately like Drake. But, you know, over here.
Who's winning, y'all? Let me know in the comments. Who's winning?
I mean, I think.
Are we Team Kendrick, Team Drake? Let me know. Comments.
I feel like K-Dot pretty much won the war. But I will say that Drake put up a good fight until he stopped putting up a good fight.
I think as far as the current battle, I think Kendrick has it pretty much in the bag. But overall body of work, I'm more of a Drake fan, to be honest.
Yeah, Drake does have a lot more hits, and not just hits. He has a lot more music, right? Kendrick doesn't put out a lot. I'm a fan of both. I'm more of a fan of Kendrick as a lyricist, but I do like a lot of Drake songs. And I feel like, did you hear about Kendrick playing Not Like Us 5 times back to back at his recent show? That's it, man. Drake is donezo after that, in my opinion. And I love Degrassi, Wellbore. I'm a huge fan of that series. I was a fan of Jimmy Brooks, right? Jimmy Brooks.
Jimmy in the wheelchair.
Shout out to the wheelchair.
I remember the episode when he got shot and put in the wheelchair.
Yeah, me too, man. I remember. So we used to get the episodes a little later than they did in Canada. So I remember downloading Degrassi on LimeWire. That might date me a bit. So
LimeWire, the OG way to get a virus.
Yes, exactly, man. Me and my friend would download Trailer Park Boys and Degrassi, which I know is a weird mix. But man, we would get stoned and watch some TBB and watch some Degrassi, and that's where I saw Jimmy getting shot before everyone else. That's how I thought at the time, at least. You know, I thought I was like, whoa, nobody else knows Jimmy's in a wheelchair now.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. Dude, I've had so much fun talking to you, man. I hate to keep you any longer. I could really sit here and talk to you all night, though, but I know you got other things that you got to do. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. We're about an hour and a half in. But, dude, I've had so much fun hanging out with you, Sergio. It's been a blast, dude. I hope you can come back and hang out with us real soon.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you having me on here. Such a great time. It was so easy to chat with you. Our, texting chats has always been cool. And again, man, I just want to give you your flowers. Shout out to Comic Book Addicts. Scotty, You're a true dude, real sincere, such a cool collector. And yeah, thank you again. Shout out to the chat. Thank you so much for
The
hanging
chat's been
out.
awesome.
Appreciate you all. And of course, I would love to be back on, man. Whenever you want, I'll come back on. Just let me know. And thank you again, bro. Really appreciate you.
Hell yeah. Definitely have to come back really soon. And if you ever saw that I'm having a guest and you want to co-host, man, you're more than welcome to hop on and co-host with me or whatever, dude. Because like I said, man, I enjoy talking to you. You're a great guy. Bobby said thank you. He's had a great time. He enjoyed hearing from you. Marcus shared the link. So y'all be sure, if you aren't sub to the man's YouTube channel. And also remember the CBC Awards. We got some really good content creators out here, some really good deserving creators out here. And a lot of you are in the chat. A lot of you that I'm talking about are in the chat right now. Hoot, Circumstances, Bobby De La Ghetto, TM Nerdy, Wellbore. We got a lot of really good people in the community here in the chat right now. Really deserving people. And they all deserve the nomination. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out tonight. If you're not following Sergio on IG, be sure to follow SIRGEE_OH on IG. And you can follow this man on his most recent endeavors with music and writing and comic book collecting. And he'll be back real soon, y'all. And anybody catching the replay, I really appreciate you guys. Definitely helps on my watch time. So definitely trying to get monetized. Hopefully it'll happen in the near future. We're working our way there. It'll happen sometime soon. But we're gonna leave you out how we always do with the little immortal Biggie Shack. He's in the chat right now. We're gonna end it like we always do with the Biggie Shack outro. See you guys next week with Fire Guy Ryan. Later.
I'd say that one is a banger, man. It's a real certified banger, dude.